Kevin McCarthy and congressional leaders are going to be meeting with President Biden to discuss the debt ceiling at 4 p.m. Eastern today. That's right after the market closes. My next guest says America's credit cards are simply maxed out. Georgia Republican Congressman Buddy Carter joins me now. Well, that's both, Congressman, in terms of the private sector and the public sector, by the way, because we heard that debt, personal debt, is going way up as people run out of money to buy the things that they want and need. But in terms of the government's credit card, the deficit is now, just in the first 7 months of the year, at $928 billion. That's a 236% increase from where we were at this stage in 2022. This can't go on.
No, it can't go on. It's not sustainable. You know, the number one responsibility of the federal government is to protect our homeland, and we can only do that with a strong defense. We keep on the same track that we're on right now. Fiscal year 24, the interest alone on our debt, we will be spending more on it than we will be on defense. This is not sustainable. And just to raise the debt ceiling, look, it's not a question of whether we're going to raise the debt ceiling. We are going to do that. But it's a question of whether we're going to raise the debt ceiling responsibly. And that's why the Republicans, that's why we have passed the Limit, Save, and Grow plan. It will raise the debt ceiling, and it'll do it in a responsible way. The Democrats have no plan whatsoever. They just think you just raise the debt ceiling and continue and maxing out on debt.
Well, Congressman, if I could just jump in for a second. You say the Democrats writ large. It's kind of like President Biden saying MAGA Republicans. I mean, are there any Democrats, because we certainly heard from Joe Manchin, for one, who believe that there are merits to certain parts of the McCarthy plan? Do you know any in the House?
Oh, absolutely. And good point. I appreciate you bringing that up, because there are some Democrats who agree that we need to limit our spending. They agree with this. 57% of all Americans said that they agreed with the Limits, Save, and Grow plan that we have passed in the House and that we should adopt it.
Well, let me just ask, forgive me for interrupting so much, but specifically, what is it that these Democrats who you know would go along with in the McCarthy plan? For example, taking back the unused COVID funds. Is that something that they would be in favor of the president signing on to?
Well, the specifics of what they would be in favor of, I'm not certain of. But I do know this. They have indicated that the president should negotiate. They have said he should negotiate. Debbie Dingell from Michigan is one of the House members who has said that. And we had another Democratic House member who said that as well. And we've had two senators who say that. They agree that they should negotiate. After all, Senator Biden negotiated on the debt ceiling. Vice President Biden negotiated. Right. Why isn't President Biden negotiating?
Congressman, I want to shift gears to the border because it's exploding. Title 42, as you know, is expiring in less than 48 hours. The House GOP rallying around a sweeping border bill. Where do things stand on that?
Well, the bill that we are going to pass this week, the Secure the Borders Act, that's what needs to be passed. Again, just like with the debt ceiling, this administration has no plan. And when this expires in 48 hours, less than 48 hours now, when Title 42 expires, we're going to have a mess again. Now, they've said they're going to send some troops down there. Well, that's great. But what happens when all these people start coming across this border? I mean, we've had 5 million people who have crossed that border since this administration took place, 1 million gotaways who have crossed it, and enough fentanyl that's been seized to kill 3.1 billion people. That has got to stop.
Well, we are now on track, at least over the past week, if these numbers continue or go up, to be over 3.2 million migrants in 1 year. I mean, we've never had anything close to that, and it is exploding. Congressman, thank you very much for coming on. We do appreciate it. Buddy Carter, thank you very much.